extra time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming and joining us. I'll just start the press conference by just saying how incredibly proud I am to obviously represent SC East Bengal Foundation. Obviously, we know it's a new club coming into the ISL, but it's a new club with a 100-year-old heart. I myself and the staff around me, including Tony, will give everything that we got to try and make this club as successful as possible. It's a real challenge. We know that because it's a new team and a little bit late in terms of preparation. But look, there will be no stone left unturned in our quest to try and bring the very best out to the football club. It's a challenge that we can't wait to get started with. We'll be over in India pretty soon to get going. And look, until then, we just can't wait. We're all incredibly excited to start this next chapter of what I'm sure will be a successful time. Good afternoon.
And welcome to this new journey. I'll start with a question that can sound a little left field, because we are looking into a situation where a tournament will start with possibly a 6-month stay in a bio bubble. Now that is something that has never been experienced by anyone so far in whatever competition has started, be it football, be it cricket, be it basketball, whatever. How do you think you and the team and the players will cope with what can be a very challenging situation mentally?
Yeah, look, I've no doubt that it will be a challenge. But look, for football in the world to sort of to get going again, I mean, certain situations and certain circumstances we need to adapt to. So we know what's in order. We know what we need to expect. But look, it's a case of us, myself, Tony, and the rest of the staff, just to create an environment where it's not. To create this environment where it's fun, where the players can enjoy. So look, it's not going to be. It's not going to be all hands on all the time in terms of, we're going to be down the players' throats all the time. We're going to be sensible in our approach. But look, what we fundamentally need to know is, look, we're here to work. That's a case of, look, whether we're in a bubble or not. The players need to know that we're here to do a job. We're here to do, the very best we can be. And look, certainly from our point of view, we will have the players right. We will have the players ready. And we will do everything that we need to try and make the players as comfortable as possible.
About the rivalry between East Bengal and Mohun Bagan.
Okay. Yeah, look, I think with football, I think rivalry is healthy, and I think it drives players on, it drives fans on, and it drives football clubs to achieve the very best. I think myself, Tony, we've been involved in various games throughout our careers and various derbies that have been incredibly huge. So we know what it means to certainly the football club. We know what it means to the fans, which are mega important. And look, I think it's healthy for the game. It really is. So yeah, it's a relatively new club, as I said, coming into the ISL. But we know about the history between East Bengal and obviously Mohun Bagan in the I League. So look, it's something that I think the club should be using and try and use to our advantage. Let's get the game going. Let's get everyone really infused and in trying to enjoy the games as possible. And look, as for the fans, we know how important football is, but we also know how important the games against rivals are, because it's something that we've become accustomed to.
Have you been following the ISL, and what are your thoughts about the league?
Yeah, look, of course I've been following the ISL, and myself, Tony, and we are football people, and we followed football all around the world, and in all different continents. And the ISL is a relatively new league, as we know, and I think it's got better every single season. So hopefully now with the addition of us, we can make the team a little bit, not only the team but the competition a little bit more successful. So that is our aim. We want to be as successful as we can. And look, obviously knowing the league and knowing the players is massively important.
How difficult is it to build a team in such a short notice?
Yes, I think with football, I think it's always hard when anyone will tell you about building teams. I think we've had a history where we've built a team who struggled and made them successful over in Australia. So, we know we can do it, and I've no doubt we'll do it again. Look, it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're accepting. It's a challenge that we want to do very well. And I said before, it's about us doing all the preparation right, getting the right methods and ethics into the players, and we'll be doing that. So yes, it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we can't wait to get started with.
What would be your coaching philosophy? Or a plan if you could throw some light on?
My coaching philosophy in the team around me is, look, we want to be competitive. We want to play the right way. We want to get good results. Fundamentally, football is all about getting the right results. And what I will say, I think we will create a team who will work very well. We'll work very well with each other. We'll work hard with each other. And everything about us as a coaching group, we'll want to play the right way. We want to be a possession-based team. I think if you were sort of to delve into, our experience in Australia, we took a team who were second bottom and made them competitive. We had them playing the right way. In terms of stats, I think we were by far better than most other teams in the A-League last season. So we improved that team, drastically, and that is our aim again: is to be competitive, play the right way, and be as successful as we can.
What would you view as success this season, considering that East Bengal are late entrants in the Indian Super League, and so?
Yeah, look, to be successful now, we know, we've said before how difficult it is. Most of the ISL teams have started the preparation. Obviously, we're a little bit later in terms of getting the ownership switched over and getting our contract signed. But look, we know that it's there for us. We will be as good as we can. We will have the team working very hard, and we will demand that the team work hard. So look, we do know it's going to be hard. We know it's going to be difficult. So I mean, success for me is, look, let's be competitive. Let's go and match teams. Let's go and get the right results. And look, it's no different from now. If we were a team who were brand new, or a team who were prepared and ready, you've still got to go out there and fundamentally do all the right stuff. And that's what we're going to be planning to do. So yeah, we want to be competitive. We want to make games as hard as we can for our opponents. We want to play the right way. And look, come the end of the season, we'll all sit down again and we'll find out sort of how good and how successful our season has been.
How would you describe your post-playing coaching career? You have been in Thailand and Australia. How was it there, and what do you expect in India?
Yeah, I think it'll be very similar. I think certainly the local players are technically very, very good. And it's up to us to try and bring out a little bit more in terms of what they can and can't do on the pitch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge. I've mentioned before about our coaching philosophies is playing the right way and and trying to get results by being a possession-based team. I think we're going to do that. We are. That's one of the things that we're going to aim for on the training pitch. But look, this is a new challenge for us, and until we get over there and we start mixing with the players and. There's obviously very good players within that squad, but our job is to try and make those very good players a little bit better, and we'll be doing that. And that's the same all over the world. Regardless of whether you're in the Premier League, whether in the A-League, whether in the Thai League or now the ISL. Our job is to try and make better players, and we have every confidence in what we can do to try and bring out the very best in them.
Right. Who has been your sounding board in Indian football fraternity as far as getting inputs about the recruitment of Indian players?
Well, obviously we have a new coach on board as well, Renedy Singh. I'm lucky you all know him, and his stature in Indian football is absolutely brilliant. We know as a coach how good he is. As a player he was successful, and certainly as a coach he's been a success so far as well. So. He knows most about the local players, and look, we've been hands-on. We've been speaking, about players who are right for us and players who aren't right for us. So so Renedy Singh has been instrumental in helping us build that team.
Robbie, the question from ESPN was why SC East Bengal, and why this year, especially in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, why not? I mean, my question is why not? I think, look, we know how difficult the world has been so far, and football you still need to get played. Football is, people might not think it's a massive priority, but look, we're football people, and we know how much joy that brings to people. So I think we're part now of a team and a club who are trying to make people that little bit happier. We want to. We know at the time it's tough. And look, the ISL, as a new team in SC East Bengal Foundation, and look, we're going to be, as successful as we can. We're going to be, enjoyment for people who want to enjoy the football. And look, for me, it was a good fit. It's a new league with essentially a new team, but with that 100-year-old heart. And look, we can't wait. So, my answer to that is, well, why not now?
Tell us something about your squad, and how does it go for a team making its maiden appearance in the tournament?
When you say tell us about the squad, what are you after?
Some of your key players.
Well, look, I think, as I think we, over the next coming days and maybe the next week or so, I think you'll find out a lot more. Obviously, once East Bengal was interested in myself and and Tony and the rest of our staff to come over, look, we've been nothing but working very hard to bring out good players, and not only good players but great players. And look, as far as I'm concerned, we have got a team full of marquee players. I know the marquee term is bandied about in India, and that term is maybe bandied about as the best players. But look, our ethos and our aim is to try and bring out the best in everyone. So, we're going to have a team of marquee players. We're going to have a team who will work all the same. No one will be getting any treated differently than anyone else, regardless of whatever stature there is. We know that the local players will come in and they'll maybe find it hard because it's not something that they've been used to in terms of the preparation and what we want and what we want to deliver. But look, we'll all work together, and we all want what it brings, and that is good results. And whether that's the Indian football players or the foreign players you're going to bring in. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you names just yet, but I think there's a good case for everyone to be a little bit excited because some of the names that we have got on board, I think you will be impressed.
Robbie, once called the sleeping giant of the football world by Sepp Blatter, how do you rate Indian football? And was it the rise of Indian football that prompted you to move here?
Well, yeah. I mean, I mentioned before how obviously good and how successful the ISL has been for the 7 years that it's been going. And look, it is a new challenge for us. It's a new challenge that we can't wait to get going with. I mean, you just mentioned sort of the sleeping giant of of Indian football in certainly East Bengal. We know how passionate the fans are, and look, anyone who's about to be involved in football, I think one of the first things you do is you look at the fan base. You look how big and how successful the club is, and look, we've done lots of work on the club. We know what it's about. We know how passionate the fan base is. And we know how much the actual red and gold shirts mean to lots of fans in Kolkata and East Bengal. So look, it's a challenge that we can't wait to get going with. It really is. It's something that it's exciting times for not only us but for the fans as well. Who we know how much the club means.
Ravi, just I want to know one thing. Before taking charge in SC East Bengal as a coach, did you take any advice or opinion from any coach or player who coached or played in ISL?
Yeah, I think with myself, I mean, I've been lucky enough to have a great playing career, and along that journey, I've met lots and lots of people who I enjoy listening to and talking to. Anyway, I mean, I've played with players who've obviously played in the ISL. I've played with I've also been managed by managers who've been over there. But there's Peter Reid, who was obviously I think he was over in Mumbai. I've spoke to him a few times. Obviously Teddy Sheringham was over there. Owen Coyle is obviously the manager who had a great season last year, and obviously the new manager of Odisha, and Stuart Baxter, is not someone who I've spoken to yet, but I'm sure I will do. We have obviously a good understanding of each other's backgrounds, and look, I'm still always willing to learn, and I'm still always willing to listen. And if I can get any advice, anything from anyone who's been involved in the ISL, then I'm all ears. I'm open to anything. So yeah, I have spoke to many people. I mean, I haven't even mentioned David James, who had a great first year as a manager, over in the ISL. So I've got lots of people who I can call upon, lots of people who I can phone up and get advice. And look, that will always be the case. I will phone them. I will keep in touch, and I will find out the rights and wrongs of what you can and can't do within that league. But I think what I will say, fundamentally, is when we working myself on the training pitch with Tony and the rest of the staff, and look, we will get it right, and we'll do what we need to do to try and be as successful as we can.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.